What's up? Hi, welcome to StoryHive On Location in Kelowna. I'm Robb and we're live on location in Kelowna with another episode brought to you with support by TELUS STORYHIVE. Today we're sitting with Ryan Scarpino, an incredibly talented tattoo artist in his shop, and we're going to dive into him doing an amazing piece. I would shake your hand, but you're all ready to go, and I'm excited for this. So let's dive right in. I'm going to grab the camera and
gloved up.
Let's watch the man get to work. And we will conduct our interview as he is showing us the mastery that he is. I want to thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming over, checking out my stuff.
No worries. So let's start off with where you're from and how you got into tattooing.
Well, I grew up in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and I moved to Surrey, Vancouver area when I was a teenager. I've been painting graffiti since I was pretty young, about 12 years old. I wrote News was my tag, which is a childhood nickname that I had since I grew up. And then, I started doing tattoos when I was about 26. That's when I first started tattooing. But I'd been getting tattooed since I was 18. And I actually did my first tattoo when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
I was hanging out in Port Alberni with a couple of kids, and one of the older brothers made a tattoo machine out of a Walkman motor. And I was trying to paint graffiti at that time, and he's like, "Hey, you paint graffiti, you should try tattooing us." And so I did like a couple of tattoos on them and stuff like that. And I chicken scratched a little something on my own leg when I was 12, but you could barely see it anymore. And that's kind of how I got into tattooing. I just, when I was about 26, I went and bought an eBay tattoo machine kit. And I started doing a couple little tattoos on my friends here and there, and then I heard of somebody that was looking for an apprentice at their shop called Young Guns Tattoo in Kelowna. And I went over there and I kind of showed him my artwork and stuff, and then he asked me if I had any tattoo machines, and I showed him what I had, and he threw them in the garbage because eBay stuff is crap. And then he got me the proper tattoo machines, and then away I went, learned how to tattoo, and then now it's been like almost 20 years, pretty much 20 years.
That's an incredible story. Your first tattoo was at 12.
12 years old, yeah.
That's crazy.
I had no idea I was going to be a tattoo artist at that time either. It's crazy. I've always been into art. I mean, art was the only class that I went to in high school. Everything else I always skipped out, and they ended up just giving me 2 blocks of art every day.
That's kind of wicked, though.
Yeah, art and PE.
So as becoming a tattoo artist based off of graffiti and learning how to draw graffiti, what initially got you into drawing in general? Like, what started your creative path?
I've actually always been into art since I was a little kid. Everything from making the porcelain plates and when you're in kindergarten.
Okay, yeah.
All the way up into high school where that was the only class I went to. But, I mean, I just always loved art. Drawing.
Was there ever an initial thing that as a child that you drew that really inspired you to want to continue? In
grade 8, we had to do self-portraits.
Oh boy.
So like black and gray, so we'd have to take a picture of ourselves and basically look at it and redraw it again. And I think I killed it at that time, and I loved it. And that's when I really started to focus more on shadows and tones and stuff. And then, when I started tattooing, obviously I tried my hand in everything, but then I just kind of started focusing more on black and gray because that's what I really enjoyed doing.
Okay. Have you ever worked with color?
Yeah, I've done quite a few color tattoos for the first 7 or 8 years of me tattooing.
Okay.
I kind of did a lot of color, a lot of black and gray, a lot of new school, old school, whatever pretty much came through the doors, I'd tattoo it.
When was it that you developed, like, what was the moment that you realized that black work was what you absolutely loved? Is it based off like classic tattoos and
Yeah,
shading?
just some of the pieces that I did, like I felt like I had quicker breakthroughs with like that kind of stuff. Colors, like there's a lot to it.
There is.
You know, the real top color guys out there, they put a lot of research, a lot of like, you know, a lot of work into their pieces to get to where they are, to be as good as they are.
So when it comes to tattooing versus like the transfer, this is one thing I've always wondered, and I'm really thankful to have a tattoo artist on the show, is when it comes to transferring the image from your mind and drawing in, I guess you'd have layers when you're drawing, to making it almost 3D with the shading. Where in that moment does how does that transition happen in your mind from visually seeing something that you have in your head to putting it on skin and making it? Because I'm looking at the stencil, and the stencil doesn't even give detail, like an idea how detailed
a lot of times you have your reference beside you too, so you can see where your shadows and tones are.
Okay. But when you're creating those shadows and tones,
when you're creating your shadows and tones, obviously you have to trust your values in your gray wash set. So you set out a black, and it goes all the way down to a 20%. So it's a diluted black pigment, and that's what gives me my shadows and tones. And so as long as I use the right shadow and the right tone in the right spot, and I blend them together, then I can get the transition I need to make it look three-dimensional.
Okay. Because yeah, it's like the work that you do is on a level that's quite mind-blowing, honestly. Like seeing the work that you have online and pardon me, the pieces that you've shown that you have on Facebook, and to see that skill level, like I feel like that's like a skill level that you'd see in giant cities because they would move there. But it's nice to see an artist who's so skilled local.
I feel like Kelowna's getting pretty big anyways, so
I guess so.
There's when I first started tattooing in Kelowna, there was only about 3 or 4 tattoo studios. Now there's, just on Google counting alone, there's close to 65 of them.
Oh wow. I didn't realize there was that many.
And so, and even moving to bigger cities now, like, tattooing's become a popular thing for a lot of people. They want to try and do it, and a lot of artists realize that tattooing is one of the few ways that you could actually make a good living off of artwork.
That's a valid point. I think the one thing that would scare me as an artist going to tattooing is with a canvas you have that ability to just like whitewash it if need be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't put white out on the skin. That's for sure, no.
So like it's a very nerve-wracking thing to build that skill level to get to where like the skill you are. And I feel like how do you practice initially to get to the point where you're like, I want to put ink on skin?
Well, I just messed up my friends for a while until I figured it out. I'm just kidding. There's a process that you have to learn. And once you learn the process of tattooing and how to apply it properly from stencil to actual tattooing, and you learn that process and you do it over and over again, like obviously 20 years of me doing this tattooing.
Yeah.
You learn different things about it, and it's something that you could never learn without doing it for a long period of time, even if you learn from some of the best in the industry.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's not like it's an art form where you can just like you kind of have to make your mistakes in this art form, right?
And a good tattoo artist makes mistakes all the time, but they can stash it or hide it in the piece without anyone knowing. But it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes because we're human and everybody makes mistakes. So, and you just try to get it as perfect as you can, obviously.
What was the biggest challenge in learning how to become a tattoo artist?
The biggest challenge? Well, that's a good question, really. There's a lot. Being a tattoo artist, there's a lot of challenges, you know what I mean? And everything from the art to lifestyle. Because, a lot of guys have fallen victim at a young age from getting into tattooing and making a lot of money, going out partying and stuff like that and throwing their life away.
Fair enough.
But I don't know, for like art-wise, it's just learning the different genres of tattooing, kind of figuring out your niche, what you want to do, and then obviously like maintaining clientele as well is a challenge with tattooing, especially nowadays with how many artists out there offer tattooing.
I think though, if you've built yourself that reputation and have the skill set that you do, they kind of just come running to you, in the sense where it's like you've built that trust through what you deliver.
Yeah. I
Like I've been seeing the finished pieces on the other side are just, they're mind-blowing.
Tattooing in Kelowna for 20 years now, so I definitely have a good clientele, and I'm very appreciative of every single one of them because they definitely keep me going. And I mean, I feel very grateful that I've been in the same spot for a long time, and I haven't had to really go anywhere and start over again. I did move to Florida for a few years, and it was kind of the process of starting over again, but at least I was able to bring my promotional skills that I learned over the years down there with me and be able to conjure up enough work for myself to stay busy. But now I go down there all the time and tattoo, and I got a work visa down in the United States, so.
How's that?
It's awesome.
Experience.
Oh, it's great.
Did you, when you were growing up and being a young graph artist, did you ever think you'd be where you are today?
No. To be honest with you, I went through a lot growing up. I spent from the age of 8 years old till I was 18 in foster care. I lived in different group homes and stuff like that throughout the Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland. And then got into a lot of trouble when I was younger, painting graffiti and stealing spray paint and markers and out partying and doing a lot of drugs when I was younger. And I got myself in a lot of trouble up until I was about 26 years old, and then my son, who's 19 now, was born. And that's what kind of like made me think I got to do something with myself. I can't live like this because it's not going to be able to be sustainable to raise a young man. And then that's how I found tattooing. It kind of came at the right opportunity for me. And it didn't change my life. My son pretty much changed my life, but I mean, tattooing gave me the means to change my life.
It's inspiring. It's a really wicked story. I feel like this is why I enjoy talking with creatives, is the beauty that they bring to the world through the pain that they've dealt with is something that will always captivate me and is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, tattooing saved a lot of people's lives. I've seen that happen a lot. And I've heard a lot of people's stories. I've done probably anywhere between 200 to 250 tattoo expos around the world. I've been everywhere from Australia to Bolivia to Venezuela, Costa Rica, all over Central and South America, over to Europe, UK, Netherlands, Switzerland, France, doing tattoo expos. And it's crazy because the story is the same for a lot of artists. That saved their life, gave them purpose, gave them the means to change their life.
I think that's I think that's why I love the concept of art and where it takes people, especially when it comes to this style of art. Like when it comes to the visual art, because music is one thing, and that's one thing I can physically understand because I'm a musician, but I'm not creative in any means where it comes to drawing. I'm good at drawing maps, but that's not really the same concept. So,
I used to do music when I was a teenager as well. I did hip hop music, and I used to record and perform with a group called Hip Hop Mechanics. And I don't envy the artists of today because it's so much more to it to be able to actually make it. I think I seen an interview with Scarface from the Ghetto Boys recently, and he was talking about why he doesn't put out new music, because you have to get 1 million streams to make $4,500.
Yeah, if that.
He's like, he used to sell 1 million records at $10 a piece. You're a multimillionaire.
Yeah, music industry is a weird one. It's kind of always been built that way.
Well, they've just basically made it so the artist doesn't make anything anymore, and the companies make all the money.
Yeah.
Unless you're touring.
And touring is so hard on the body.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Being away from your families and your wives and your kids, and
just eating crappy and no sleep.
Around the energy suckers.
Yeah.
It's kind of why I sold my studio downtown. I'm not going to say they're energy suckers, but I'm just, it's nice to have that peace by yourself now.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to just like wake up in the morning, have coffee, go downstairs and tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. I get to spend more time with my children too. I have two little girls who are 2 and 7.
Are they artistic as well?
But yeah, they love drawing. We draw together all the time.
That's awesome. That's one thing I think is most important as an artist, is to inspire another generation.
My 7-year-old daughter comes down here and hangs out when I'm tattooing if she's home.
That's so cool.
I kind of tell her a little bits about things and stuff, and she asks questions. It's kind of cute.
Maybe she'll grow up to be a tattoo artist as well.
Maybe I let her color in with some of my tattoos that were unfinished on my leg. It was funny. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing a tattoo for my dad.
That's so cute. How deep does the needle have to go in?
The needle goes into the epidermis layer of the skin. So not that deep, but just it stays in there right before the capillaries. If you go past the capillaries, they can happen what they call a blowout, where the skin looks like bruised underneath.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's skin is different.
That's the one thing because like you have to basically gauge your entire day's work or your project off of each individual person and the piece. So
design, skin texture, where on the body it is, everything kind of like, you have to think about all of that stuff. Not only that too, there's bloodborne pathogens too, infections, all that kind of stuff that you need to think about when you're tattooing.
Yeah, you see these like horror story videos online sometimes where they'll like bubble up under the wraps with like liquid and stuff. I'm like, never understood that, the healing process, how that happens.
There's stuff called second skin, or Saniderm they call it.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff, it actually, a lot of people don't know this, but when they put those bandages on and it does bubble up and it looks like it's like kind of like liquidy inside, that's actually normal for those bandages to do that.
Oh, is it?
Because that liquid is actually a plasma that your skin leaks out naturally. It's your natural defense.
Healing stuff.
Which has white blood cells in it.
Okay.
Which promote the healing of the tattoo. So if you keep that in there over a couple of days of you having that on, when you finally wash it away, your tattoo's not leaking plasma anymore, and it's already like halfway through the healing process. So it just flakes like a sunburn.
Okay, so it's better to leave that wrap on for a few days.
Yeah, the second skin, you're supposed to keep it on for a couple of days.
I know that I left mine on for a good amount of time, but it's just...
I don't use it personally because I've had clients have allergic reactions. I can't talk right now.
Oh.
Allergic reactions to the adhesive on the bandage.
Oh, okay.
So
I bet
just kind of stopped using it all around and just went back to like the traditional
saran wrap.
Yeah.
If it works, right?
Yeah, if it works, it works.
It's incredible how quick you can run through it too.
Right now I'm just kind of doing a light line. And when it heals up, it's not going to be a solid black.
It'll just add a little texture to the shading?
Well, yeah, just so it's super light and you don't really see the outline. And then I can go back after I'm finished doing this part, and then I'll put in my black outline where I want it to be. And then I'll start putting in my shadows and my tones. You know, kind of like on some of these pieces where I'd light line some of this stuff so you don't see the outline, and then I dark line the rest of it.
Okay.
This guy's already friggin' healing up over here. We did that yesterday.
Oh, you did that piece right there yesterday?
Yeah.
Wow.
I told him if he dies that I'll keep going. So he looks good in the casket.
Yeah, I can imagine he's not having a lot of fun getting closer and closer to the ditch, the knee.
The ditch is the nickname we give the painful areas, which is on the back of the leg or the inside of your arm. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's in the Yakuzas, the ones who get their full bodies tattooed, the last pieces they do are the back of their knees and the back of their elbows, like the ditches.
So, traditional Japanese tattooing with Yakuza, the red had toxics in it, toxins in it. So, when you got tattooed with red, you actually got really sick. So when you see a Yakuza bodysuit and the guy has a lot of red in it, he went through a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's so much to the tattoo culture that I don't think is... I think it's kind of overlooked just because of... I don't know how necessarily what the right phrasing would be. There was a long time where tattoos were kind of looked down upon. They weren't looked at like they were...
They were like taboo.
Yeah, almost, you know what I mean? But it's in other cultures, like Polynesian cultures and Japanese culture, tattoos have been accepted for so long.
Tattoos have been around for a long time. I'm not going to say a number because I might look like an idiot. But, I mean, ancient civilizations were doing tattoos on them. And it's crazy now. It's like you look around and it's like you see someone without a tattoo and you're like, what the?
Yep.
I mean, that guy doesn't have a tattoo.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that is. It's like almost the rebels of today don't have tattoos.
The odd man out.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Like a long time ago, tattoo shops would always say, "Hey, like I don't want the kids there. Like no kids allowed." And I always loved seeing the kids come into the tattoo shops with the parents when they were doing consultations and stuff like that, because I felt like that was like just instilling the next generation to get tattooed. Because that's what their mom and dad are going to do. So I always welcomed kids coming into the studio with their parents. And it's funny because now, like, even because my son's 19, so I've actually tattooed a few of his buddies that are like 19 and 20 now. And I just remember them all coming over when they were like 14, saying, "One day I'm going to get a tattoo from you." And then here we are sitting there tattooing them.
That's so cool.
Let's roll this way just a bit. Yeah, perfect. Can you go more? Yeah. Thanks. That was pretty cool. I tattooed one of his buddies from elementary school, Jesse, the other day. He's a paramedic here in town.
That's pretty good. Kind of full circle moments.
I tattooed my son.
How was that experience?
It was awesome.
Love it.
He was being a baby. I hope he watches this. Man up, son. No.
That's funny.
No, he's a good kid. I'm proud of him. He's been working hard.
It's one thing that's a term that I have a love-hate relationship with. And I constantly end up saying as a dad now, I'm like, all right, I guess I realize why it was said to me.
That's funny.
Being a parent definitely changes the way you look at everything. People always say it, and then it happens. And
especially when you have to learn how to be a parent.
Yeah, without having a parent.
Without having a parent.
Yeah, I think it makes you a stronger person now at the end of the day. Like,
definitely makes a closer bond because, like, you know, now that my son is older, he's understood a lot of reasons why things happened or things that, you know, we went through together growing.
Yeah. Is he into tattooing as well?
He's, you know, just getting tattooed. He's actually an aspiring mechanic.
Oh, cool.
And like building cars and stuff like that.
So he's following the car passion.
The car passion, yeah. So he He's got a twin turbo BMW.
Wow.
He goes to all the car shows. He's part of a car club called Strictly Euro.
That's kind of cool, hey?
And actually, we're looking at getting a shop together, just so I can do my Cadillac stuff, because I buy and sell vintage Cadillacs.
I was just going to bring that up. How long have you been doing that for?
About 10 years.
What?
I've always loved lowriders.
Well, I was going to say, what was the initial I'm buying one?
Well, I just had a client who had a car, and it was a 58 Cadillac that was just sitting in his lawn.
Oh, wow.
And I asked him if he wanted to trade tattoo work for it, and he said sure. And so that's how I ended up with my first Cadillac, was a 58 Cadillac. And then I just became a habit.
Wow, eh?
Buying them and keeping them. At one point, there was like 7 Cadillacs sitting outside.
That's so funny. I mean, it's not a bad
When I moved to Florida, that was
hobby to have.
When I moved to Florida, that was kind of like my. While I was getting busy tattooing, I was just buying and selling old Cadillacs. I was actually doing pretty good with it.
I love that you've got to create a lifestyle based off of 2 things that you love.
That's the fucking trick right there. Excuse my
Right.
language. That's the trick.
That's the one thing that I try to focus on a lot in the show, is to teach how. Because most of the time, it takes you just saying, I want to do it, and not giving up on yourself at all to be successful at whatever you want.
I mean, you can pretty much do anything you want. I mean, the suggestion I have for people is just find what you love. Figure out a way that you can make your life around something that you love love to do and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're building cars or tattooing or helping people or whatever it is, just figure out what it is, you know, and then just build your life around that. It would suck to have to go to a job that you hate every day, you know.
Yep. And then it just inspires our kids to do the same thing, and then it's just a never-ending circle. I think the fact that your kids are want to get tattooed by you, and 2 are into it, means you're winning as a parent.
Thanks.
Teaching them and inspiring them to do something completely different and out of the norm is, why not?
My kids are my life. Without them, I am nothing.
Right?
And that's how I feel, and that's why I work hard and I try to provide for my family and take good care of them. So they don't have to worry about nothing, and they got a good life.
Yep. Over the years of tattooing, what's been one of your biggest accomplishments?
Biggest accomplishments? Well, I mean, I've won a few awards tattooing. I got to travel to so many cool places. Like Bolivia was really cool. 4,800 meters above sea level.
Wow.
So when you get off the airplane, you're like gasping for air because the oxygen is so thin.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, won a few awards. Best cover up, best small black and gray. A couple awards in Jacksonville, Florida at the Jacksonville Tattoo Expo. Upstate New York. Yeah, I mean, just lots of traveling, man. I've gotten to see so many places. I did a tattoo expo in Indonesia before, and it was cool. And really, they make you feel like a movie star at that place, I tell you. But one of the most disgusting sights I've ever seen at the end of it, to be honest with you. They don't have health regulations over there.
No.
So like there was guys like outside of the tattoo expo with their gloves on.
And then go back in.
Having a smoke with their gloves on.
Oh, wow.
And then going back in and tattooing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
No, I watched you re-glove 3 times doing everything.
gloves are cheap. Change them.
How was the experience in Indonesia? That's where my family's from.
That's where I learned a lot of my black and gray tattooing. Was with artist Gedi Shatonk Tattoos in Kuta, Indonesia, in Bali.
Cool.
I spent a few months over there, a couple different times. hanging out and tattooing at his studio. But tattooing is massive over there. All the Australian people come up there and get like full body suits. They'll go and they'll get tattooed by like 3 or 4 artists at the same time.
Oh wow!
Over like 3 or 4 days and come out with like 2 legs done and sleeve and like then go back home, heal, come back and get more done. Like
that's so crazy. I don't know if I'd be able to sit for that long of a session with that many artists going at the same time.
Yeah, not me. I could barely sit down for one artist tattooing me for a few hours for him whining and complaining.
So I was going to ask, as a tattoo artist, how does the experience of dealing with other tattoo artists?
Like tattooing them or like just...
no, like when you're getting tattooed by other tattoo artists.
Well, they bug me all the time because I'm a wimp. I'm surprised I have as many tattoos as I have. I don't know. I just feel like the older I get, the more it hurts, to be honest with you.
That's the common thing I've heard too. I didn't get my first tattoo till I was like 30 years old.
Crazy.
And I fell in love with the feeling.
The feeling of the back of the kneecap.
Yeah, I don't think he's enjoying the feeling. That's not a fun spot.
I didn't fall in love with it.
I ain't seeing any twitching. You're doing amazing,
he's
my
doing
friend. Good. You are doing great.
I've seen his butt cheeks pucker a couple of times. That's about it.
Calves are, but yeah, they're a fun one. What was the most painful tattoo you've had?
The stomach really sucks, and like to be honest with you, the back is probably the worst place. The back is the worst place I've ever been tattooed.
Really?
Yeah, I'd get tattooed on my head and my face all day long compared to like.
Is that why you like doing back tattoos?
Yeah.
Like, I'll do this. I'll do your giant back piece for you, no problem.
The last few back pieces have actually been done in collaboration.
Oh, okay. How does that work?
So there's me and my homie Kyle Fresh Ink on Instagram. We do 2 artists, and we book one client, full back in 2 days, back to back. So we do about 12 hours the first day, and then another 8 the next day, and we complete the whole back. Jeez. The last guy did 22 hours over 2 days, and we finished his whole entire back piece.
See, that's insane. That's a lot of sitting.
Yeah, my back was sore.
I can imagine.
Can only imagine what his back felt like.
Yeah. Trying to sleep.
I just kept making jokes to him the whole time too. Just, oh man, my back's sore. He's like, what? What do you mean your back's sore?
Have you ever had an apprentice?
I've trained a few people how to tattoo.
So when you're going to become a teacher and you're teaching somebody how to tattoo, how does that process start? Like, how do you get them from going from paper to actual skin?
It depends on their artistic skills, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I've had, people that I've trained that weren't the greatest artists, but they, learned and then became better artists because they were learning how to tattoo. Then I've had artists that are insane. Like their artwork was just incredible. So like I ideally would have wanted them tattooing as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. So it's different for each person.
Is the transition from pen to
skin
gun a big challenge to overcome?
Yeah, because it's human skin and everybody's skin is different. And until you've had that experience working on different types of skin, you don't know what to expect. It's all every day you're learning. Even now I still learn because everybody's different. That's why I love this this industry and this art, because every day I learn something new.
Knowledge is a very valuable thing.
When I first started tattooing, I wanted to get better, so I started going to tattoo conventions. That's why I started going, and because I would follow around artists that I looked up to, and I'd go to conventions and I'd meet them. I'd introduce myself and I'd hang out with them. Later on to become good friends with them, but mainly because I wanted to learn how to tattoo. I wanted to learn what they were doing to make their tattoos so good, and and not only what they were doing, but how they were taking their pictures, how they were like promoting themselves, like all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of skills that go behind it too. Like the amount of hours you got to put it in just to learn how to tattoo and then to have to market yourself and to build a business off of it is, I feel like it would be a huge turn for a lot of people if it wasn't something that they were passionate about.
I get in trouble for being on my phone all the time because you have to constantly be seen. Before old school days, we'd go out to the bar.
And just show off all the tattoos.
Yeah, you'd go out to the bar or the club or whatever, and you'd meet people. People, oh, Ryan needs a tattoo. I said, oh, you tattoo? Oh, I've been wanting to get a tattoo. Figure I'll take a deposit right in the middle of the bar, you know?
The good old days.
And then, and then you'd book a few weeks ahead of time, and that would be, that's how you'd make your money. And, now I don't go to the bar. I don't drink or anything like that, so I don't go out to the clubs or bars. So now social media is the way to be seen.
And you have a good following on social media.
Yeah, it's been a long time trying to get that. I almost lost it once.
Oh, wow.
My shit got hacked.
Oh, no.
And then I found a friend of a friend of a friend that works at Meta. I lucked out, got it back. But it was gone for like 2 months, and I was so sad.
That's crazy scary.
That was my lifeline.
Yeah.
I had just moved down to Florida too, and I was using it for doing Instagram ads and stuff like that, trying to get myself more clientele. We moved down there around COVID, at the end of COVID.
So, not too long you've been here then doing that, eh?
Sorry?
Like you were down there for...
Just about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we were back and forth, you mentioned.
Yeah, we were back and forth because I still had my studio here, and then I still owned my house here. So we just rented it out while I was gone.
It's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely made me feel bitter towards being a landlord.
Oh, I bet. Dealing with people, what they do. Yeah. It's nice. It's probably nice to not have to stress about that so much anymore now that you've got a studio. You don't have to worry about people.
I would love to live back down there again. I think that if I did, I'd probably do some sort of like short-term rental or something. Because I think that if I was going down there for winters, I could still consider this my primary residence, and I'd be able to Airbnb it. Unless they change the rules back, and then I would just Airbnb it.
Yeah. The battle for the light.
Are you coming around?
I'm trying to get a good shot with lighting, but not trying to take the light from you so you can see what you're doing. How far do you think you'll be able to get to today in your session?
I'll finish this.
You'll finish the whole thing with shading?
Yep.
Oh, wow. How long are you guys going for today?
What time is it? Probably till about 3.
Oh, okay. So it gives a couple hours.
I'm pretty efficient.
Yeah, I was going to say, the line work alone looks like it's almost done.
Pretty much for the most part. I got like the light lining in, and then I come in with my black now, and I put my black lines in, and then I do the shading.
So I had a question that evaded me earlier. When you mentioned you had an award for best cover-up.
Yeah.
Doing cover-ups is a whole other ball game.
So that was a lot when I did color tattoos, and the cover-up tattoo that I won best cover-up for was actually a mermaid sleeve full color.
Oh, wow.
And I don't have a picture of it. It's been so long. It was like
because cover-ups are
2014.
Oh, wow.
2014. Feels like that's forever ago.
It does. That actually does kind of
12
feel like
years
forever.
ago.
But when you're doing cover-ups, did they give you something and they're like, this is what I want to have covered up? Or did they let you have that creative freedom to find something that will work best?
Cover-ups are pretty limited to what you can and can't put over top of them.
Okay.
And so you kind of got, if somebody wants a cover-up, they can give you an idea to work with, but 8 times out of 10, that idea is not going to work for a cover-up. So you kind of got to work and like improvise with maybe their ideas and find something that might work with that cover up, or kind of convince them to that this is what's going to be the best to cover that up.
Okay.
How's that feeling there? That's what he says when he's on camera.
He's doing good. He's doing
He's
great.
killing it.
Well, it's the truth, it sucks.
Yeah, the back of that knee is probably not a fun one. I have the tiniest piece on my shin, and it was like, that was the worst tattoo I've had yet. Can't imagine the back of the knees. But it looks so good. Do you prefer thin lines or thick lines when you're doing your outlines?
They all have their place.
Love it. It's a great way to put it.
Thick lines, thin lines, black lines, light lines, they all have a place to go. Unless you just do like traditional style.
Yeah, because traditional's got super thick outlines, right?
And that's pretty much where the black goes. That goes in there with the color, and then it's like super like solid, like not very many tones. Really simplified tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
But still needs to be done well in order to look good.
I definitely love just seeing the emergence of all the new styles of tattooing that have come out in the last 20 years. So I remember being like 13, 14 and looking at tattoos, and they were all just straight traditional tattoos that you would see like in the shop on the wall.
Yeah, the flash art. That goes in
Yeah, like the pinup style almost.
there. The old biker tattoos.
Mm-hmm. And I love them. Like they'll always have their appreciation, but to see the art starting to come out, I guess realistically it's always been there, but like to really become popular in like the late 2000s and blew up.
When I see old guys with old tattoos like that, like super old, I have to know the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, where'd you get it? Who did it?
And
like,
you know they're hard too. If an old guy's got tattoos, you don't mess with them.
a lot of times, you know, they tell you who they got it from, and there's only a handful of tattooers back in like, you know, the 60s and the 50s and 70s.
Yeah, so you probably either have met them or know their work.
Definitely.
And that's another concept that it is relatively such a young art form in the sense where it's professional and it's not like that spiritual aspect where you have like tribes doing it, but where it turns into competitions and you have like the Van Goghs of the tattoo world basically living nowadays.
There's a lot of history when it comes to like, you know, modern day tattooing. And like who the innovators were and what they started and who introduced who to who that got this going, and you know who was the first ever tattooer in the certain areas. Like in Vancouver, the first tattooer around there was Doc Forbes, and he did American traditional style tattooing on all the sailors at the dock in Vancouver. And then he had guest artists come from other parts of the world, like Japanese tattooer Hiroshi, the first, or I think is the first, come over from Japan and tattoo with Doc Forbes.
That's so cool.
And then they would mix their Japanese traditional with American traditional and do like a mashup of the two styles.
I wonder if that's where like those specific kois came from, where they have that Japanese look, but they're merged with that traditional
feel to them, yeah.
My buddy has one of those koi, kind of like a old traditional koi on his leg, and I love it, just the way it looks. So when you're looking at the tattoo,
Yeah.
I know you have your reference, but do you ever see like different shading points when you put it on the skin?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
I never have to be like, I have to adjust the shading because it just looks so much better on your leg this way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Most of the time, like when my references I use from realistic images, and I kind of put them together digitally on my tablet, and I'm just looking for the shapes that I can work with. I'm not like one of those crazy visual artists. You're like, yeah, can you draw me a friggin' detailed cobra snake? And I'm just gonna like draw you a detailed cobra snake. There's guys out there that I could do that. Kudos to them. But I'm more of a visual, visual artist where I see things on the skin. I just need the shape. Then I can build it all together.
Do you prefer the shading aspect, or do you prefer getting the initial outlines done first?
I like it all.
Like more preferred, I guess, not first, but.
I mean, each different styles of black and gray. Like there's the stuff where it's like illustrative, and you can do with a lot of line work and stuff. Or there's a lot of black and gray where you don't even use line work, and you just go in with everything built in with your shader, and just build in all your shadows and your tones and build off of them.
And for people who don't know tattooing, when you're shading, you're using a totally different set of needles, right?
Yeah.
You're using ones with like 4 or 5 prongs.
This one here is a 9-round liner that I'm using, which is, putting in blacker to thicker outlines. And then it goes up from there. And then I use, for shading, I use what they call a 15 curved mag. So it's kind of like got like a
slight bevel to
like
it.
a slight bevel from side to side. And it has, 15 needles stacked together. And that way, when I do my shading, it gives me a little bit of a soft edge and like a few different angles that I can work with.
And you can like feather things out a little.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to say my favorite aspect of getting tattooed is getting the colors put in. That grinding.
Start seeing that pop.
And more or less just the feeling of the initial, once it starts going through, the circles are going.
Oh yeah.
And you're filling in the color. It just, you go numb and you kind of just zone out.
And it goes away.
And it just goes away, and all of a
I
sudden
got a massive color piece on my thigh.
Oh,
Mario Brothers.
sweet.
Koopa and Mario and Luigi sitting on Yoshi, punching him in the back of the head. And then Yoshi's tongue's flying out, and he's trying to get a turtle, and the turtle's like.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I bet that one was a good one.
Roll this way for me. Roll this way for me. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I did 3 sessions. That was done by a local artist here, Lars. He had Ultramagnetic tattoo downtown for a while, and then he sold the studio too, and he just went private.
Do you prefer being private versus owning a studio? Or I guess you own a studio still, but
it was a big transition for me because having a studio was my social life for 15 years.
I was going to ask, is it a little less hectic now?
And
more
the
personal?
first few months of not being in a studio was really strange to me. And so it took a lot of adjustment. I actually kind of felt a little bit depressed there for a little while, just because it was my life for so long. But then, I just obviously got to start spending more time at home with my kids and like going and traveling and stuff. So now it's starting to get used to it, because now when I want to be in a shop environment, I'll just go for a week-long guest spot somewhere, wherever I feel like traveling to, and still make money.
When you're going about doing that and doing guest spots, how does that process work? I have friends who have done that and do that.
Yeah, I go all over the place doing guest spots.
How do you just call up a shop and are like, hey, do you want to guest artist for a couple weeks?
I've met a lot of people in this industry, so I know a lot of people all over the place.
Yeah.
And,
fair enough.
My tattoos obviously aren't, bad. So
no, they speak for themselves. You're definitely skilled.
If I reach out to a shop and I want to work with them, usually they welcome me with open arms. And you just kind of like go there, and either the shop books you, or you can just throw some promo ads out there, and you can get some bookings. And just go there and tattoo and make some money.
It's such a cool industry, and it's like I was saying earlier, like it's kind of still emerging and blowing up every day, and I don't see it slowing down.
No, especially with the parents keep bringing in their kids for the consultations.
Right. And you see like new styles where you've got like these glow-in-the-dark tattoos and like
that stuff's been around for a while. I personally have never used it because I don't feel like
I feel like it'd be scary.
It might be not very good for you.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always felt, but it's definitely cool to see where things are going, or you see full blackout pieces now. Like a lot of metal musicians are completely blacking out arms because of things that they've had tattooed on them and the way the world is now, but then they're getting white tattoos over them.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've actually done a couple where you kind of go in and do some like geometric stuff or like, you know, some sort of designs and then tattoo it in white.
Yeah. So like there really is no limit to what you could potentially do other than you'd need the test subjects, and luckily they have like the fake skin nowadays and stuff. But does that...
It's not the same.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that even remotely close to being on somebody's skin?
Not really, no. It's really like hard.
And rubbery.
Yeah, rubbery. I got a hand up there that I tattooed.
Oh, okay. Oh, they are. You can see they're definitely not like a pig skin or something. You always see that in movies. The tattoo shop has a pig.
You just tattooed him.
Who's all tattooed.
Wilbur, come here, Wilbur. Time for a tattoo again. You living?
Deep breaths. You can hear them. Looks so good.
I'll fill this spot in really nicely, I think. Then we just do a little bit of background shading, bring some of this stuff up.
Yeah, I love that. I've always loved when they put the fill as a different color.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm alright, man.
You gonna live?
I'm gonna live, yeah.
I won't let you die.
It looks so good.
I got one of those infibrillators here, so.
If you were to give any advice to an aspiring tattoo artist, two-part question, to start their career as, first of all, like how do you get into drawing to a level where you could comfortably feel like I want to put that on skin? And second of all, how can they transition from being an at-home artist into jumping into a career as a tattoo artist?
Working on your art portfolio is very important. Do not go to tattoo school. Tattoo school in this industry is big and taboo, and if you ever want to get a job somewhere else, no accredited shop would ever hire anybody that went to tattoo school. The best and only way to learn how to tattoo is to find an artist that's already established themselves, that has a studio, that's good at what they do, maybe in the style that you want to learn how to tattoo, and take an apprenticeship. An apprenticeship usually is about 2 years long. And at first you're going to be washing floors and cleaning bathrooms and learning about the studio and how it works, how to order supplies, what supplies are, and then working on your artwork, and then eventually learning how to tattoo. But if you have a strong portfolio together and you go to a tattoo studio and you want to learn how to tattoo, you're more than likely to be tattooing sooner than you would if you didn't and you just went in there, if they even give you a job.
Fair enough.
It's hard, there's so many ways you could do it, but like the right way is the apprenticeship.
It's funny to hear that it's an industry where you go to school and you wouldn't get a job for it. Because most people, you go to school and then you assume you're going to be able to get that career. But
yeah, I mean, maybe that'll change later on, but like, as far as like tattoo school wise, like a lot of like, there's like, I see posts all the time of like owners of shop being like, if you come here and you tell me that you went to tattoo school, you're not getting a job.
And I think it's because it's something you
Roll
can't
this
be,
way for me.
It's kind of like music, right? You can't be taught how to do it in a classroom. You can be taught theory all you want, but unless you're physically doing it, you're never going to fully learn the concepts.
Not at all. Let me know if you need a break, buddy.
I always find taking a break is way worse. I'd have to sit back down and face it again. What an amazing way to spend your day.
Getting tattooed.
And tattooing, like,
It's so nice.
it's so inspiring to see artists make it to a level where, like, you get to be from home, raise your family, and do the thing you love. And that's the whole thing I want to inspire the next generation to do.
It's hard. It's hard not to take it for granted sometimes, you know. But sometimes I'm driving around and I'm in my Cadillac, or I'm driving, on a road trip, taking my family somewhere cool. And I just sit there and I think to myself how lucky I am to be able to do what I do for a living and be able to provide for my family and have the life that I have and own the things that I have and meet the people that I get to meet, from clients to other artists and stuff like that. It's just, and go the places I go. It's crazy.
It's inspiring. It's what you can do.
It's a blessing.
If you work hard for it. You could start off and have nothing and still make it to be a rock star. Do you ever tattoo yourself?
I did when I first started. I did a couple tattoos on my legs. Nothing I'm proud of, but it's a weird feeling.
I was gonna ask, is it distracting trying to do it because you're feeling the pain?
Not really. I mean, I feel like you don't focus on the pain.
Because you're so focused on the tattooing.
Because you're focused on the tattooing, yeah.
You're mentioning that your vision, your nearsighted vision was going, and now I can understand because I didn't put two and two together. Trying to focus on where the needle is, you have to look it has to be so close.
You look right at the end of it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until just this moment when I'm watching you do those swirls.
My back's taking a toll on me too.
Yeah, standing and working all the time is not beneficial to the body.
No, apparently, like with your neck or your head over your neck, it's about 10 pounds of pressure for every, inch or couple inches your head's out from your neck like this.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, 6 inches, I'm holding like 30 pounds with my neck all day long.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that too. It's incredible.
Give this guy a little squirt with some Bactine and let him have a break for a sec.
Yeah, and then I can wrap up. We just did an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah, and quick interview. It's nice to see.
I'll take some pictures of it.
It's so cool to see the process from stencil line work in such a quick amount of time too. It's mind blowing.
Where's my Bactine?
That's the worst part, I think. The outlining.
Yeah. I was just saying earlier, I enjoy the actual shading aspect.
That's my favorite too.
It's like that grinding feels good versus like the on and off of the needle going in spots that haven't been touched.
I feel paid more when it's that fine line, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the little prick they call that one. The 3-round liner that I had out.
Good, Ryan?
Yeah, you can jump off here. Let's go
Yeah,
off
you're good.
here.
I'll hop off on the right here.
Yeah.
And then I'll wrap up this.
Let's put that back up on the bench. Stuck to it. Cool. Curious to see how that turns out. Hopefully that's some good bullshitting.
Yeah, here. I'll wrap up the episode with you. I'll have you hop over here. Adjust this a little. There we go. Well, Ryan, I want to thank you again. That was mind-blowing getting to watch you put such a beautiful piece onto somebody and get to embrace the story of your history and your skills and
Yeah, thanks
your
for coming
lifestyle.
by.
I appreciate it so much.
Appreciate it too.
Is there a place where these guys can find you?
Instagram at tattoos by news spelled with a Z, kind of like that there if you can read it. Some graffiti stuff.
It is a wicked.
Yeah, you'll see all my tattoos and my Cadillacs and all the car shows and stuff like that I like to attend to and conventions, and see where I might be tattooing next.
Yeah, I might have to come back one day and go over some cars with you because that's a whole other hobby and skill that I'd love to dive into is restoration of old vehicles.
Yeah, that's
Because
awesome.
it's not, it's a dying skill.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'd love to do that with you. That'd be great.
Well, one, thank you again for your time and your story. If you guys would like to be a guest on the show, there will be a QR code somewhere at the bottom of the screen that you can scan, and it'll send you to a form that you fill out, and you can join the show, and I will interview you. And once again, I'm Robb O'Day. This has been Story Hive on Location Kelowna, and we'll catch you next.